right, good morning, everybody. Good morning on a Monday morning. I apologize for being a little bit late. I had to be on a call with the doctor's office, and I hate talking to doctor's office on Monday morning. I don't know what they want. Okay, good morning. My name is Ling Chow. I am your zipForm Plus instructor today. I'm also a volunteer for the Western Gabriel Board. But this is not a volunteer work. I am a certified trainer for the California Association of Realtors. Can I ask how many of you, if you're okay, I can't really see all of you, but if you're a new person, just join the board and this is the first time that you're here, you have to stay probably 3 hours. Because we're going to do the very beginning, very beginning on how to log in, how to get on the zipForm. The seasoned people that's here today, the first part from 9:30 to 11 o'clock is going to be very simple. The second part, which starts about 11:10, it will be advanced. What I mean by advanced, we'll be talking about how to do digital ink signature, Docusign. The other thing that we're going to talk about briefly is the touch sign. How to use your finger to do the signing on your tablet and your smartphone. So if you feel the beginning is very boring, you're welcome to come back about 11:10, and we'll start the advanced portion on the second portion of the 3-hour class today. So the beginners, the one that just joined as a new agent, as a new realtor member, I welcome you. And this will be something that you'll be using quite a bit to write offers, to write listing offers, and all the forms that you ever need as a real estate agent. Besides the CRMLS, which you search your listings and put up your listing, this is where all the forms are. Okay, for the new ones that just came in, I hope you guys see that we're doing the beginning, the first part, and advance on the second part. So if you're welcome, you can always come back later if you want to hear the second part. I am looking through your names. I don't see anybody that that I know that has been here before. Okay, so let's start. There's a couple places that you can go to zipForm. There is several places. One of them that I like to go into is the California Association of Realtors, which is the www.car.org. And there's also the other places called the, when you log into CRMLS, you're welcome to go in from there to come into zipForm. That's the second place. The third place will be our Western Gabriel website. You're welcome to go into our website and log into zipForm as well. So what is zipForm? zipForm is all the forms that you ever need. It is a form written by you and me? No, we did not write the forms. We help to tell them what we need, but the attorney that hired by the California Association of Realtors and the forms advisory group, they have a group of people that volunteer their time every year to look at the forms. And of course, you as a realtor member will let them know if there's any changes. So the forms are updated twice a year in June and December. Mostly that's when it is. It could be, sometimes it could be a little bit earlier, sometimes it could be a little bit later, but never past December of the end of the year. So there will be form updates, form changes twice a year. And the forms are, it started with just California, and then it went on to many states, and now zipForm is nationwide. So everybody in other states use zipForm. We California Association of Realtors used to own zipForm. A couple years ago, we sold it to I always think, what is the name? Lone Wolf, the Lonely Wolf. Okay. They sold it to Lone Wolf a couple years ago, and the deal was that we still get it for free because the zipForm is a member benefit. I think in 2023 or 24, I can't remember what it was the date. Our contract is up, so they're going to renew. I don't know what's going to happen at that time. But however, right now you are allowed to use the form for free. If you're not a realtor member, you did not pay your dues as a member, to access the forms are quite expensive. I think if you just want to buy and use the form, it costs about more than $1,000 a year. So it is a very expensive to use the forms. And the so going into the CAR.org, which is the California Association of Realtors, you're always welcome to go in and excuse me, and look at the website, because there's a lot of information on their website, and most of them are hidden. So you had to click. Let's say you want to know about transaction management, you click here. This is all transaction sections. Learn and thrive, marketing tools, education. There's a lot of charge and free education. And right now, the hottest thing on the table is the new residential purchase agreement, the new RPA, right? We all know that there was changed in December of last year. So everybody's still working on it, still kind of new to this. Okay, let me get this. I don't know why I have that thing on the bottom, the little fair housing tips. Okay, for the new agent that haven't been into this website, the number one thing that you need to do is sign in. If you guys have any question, you're welcome to put in chat and I will take a look at it, okay? So the new to CR.org, for the new ones, please register here and enter your nerd ID and last name. If you don't know what your nerd ID is, it's the National Association Realtor ID. We have so many IDs. We have the DRE number that you have to remember. We have the West End Gable member number that when you log into CRMRS. And of course, we have the National Association ID, which is called Nerds ID. So if you don't know it, here it is, find your Nerds ID. Okay, so there's a couple ways to find your nerd ID. And you can enter your last name and email. The email, the address that you're talking about, the email address, and I know many of us have many email addresses, right? The email address that we're talking about right now is the email address that you give to the West End Gable board when you sign into our board as a member, because that's the number, that's the email address we turn into the National Association of Realtors, okay? So always remember which email address you send to us, you give to us. So you can do it by enter the last name and your email address, and you can click submit, or the second way of doing it is enter the last name and the real estate license number, which means your DRE license number, your Department of Real Estate number. For the new agent, it should start with 02, okay? I think it's still on 021. It really tells you when did you get your license, that's all. You know, people go by numbers. If you see somebody with 00, that means that person has been in real estate for a long time, okay? And the third way of finding your NER number is that you receive magazines from the Realtor magazine from NAR. On your mailing address, on top of your name, it has your membership ID. And you can always go to nar.realtor to request a printed a card, a membership card. It has your realtor number. Okay, are we good on signing in? Because I'm gonna go move on, okay? And last resort of, if you can't find your NER number, call the association, and our association staff can help you to find your NER number. Okay, and please write it down, because some people always forget, like me. I write down all my username and password on each website, so I won't forget. But the new MacBook has the fingerprint, so I put in my fingerprint already. When you go in, you are always welcome to go into, it says Hi Ling, and you have account settings. Okay, you can set up your account and put your picture there if you like. It won't open for me today. By the way, I always want to tell you, on Monday morning, it's always something going on here, okay? It's always something going on Monday with the computers. Okay, so how do we access to the zipForm? Here it is. We have the transaction, access the transaction. I'm going to click transaction with the little arrow. And here we have so many things, but the only one that we're interested right now is the Lone Wolf transaction zipForm edition. So I'm going to access the zipForm. Excuse me. You don't do anything until this little yellow thing come out. Excuse me, I'm going to cough. Okay, when the little arrow, little square things come out, it says continue to a transaction, please click on it. And they're going to wait, because they're going to check your credential if you're indeed a member of ours. I want to tell you guys, if I start coughing, please excuse me. Last week I was pretty sick, and I got the COVID testing and I was negative. But I don't know whether I had a flu or I was fighting off COVID. So I'm okay, but I might still be coughing a little bit, okay? So I apologize if I stop and cough. Okay, so here is the dashboard. This dashboard will tell you what happens when you requested the e-signature. You have any listing that expired this month? A listing expiring this month, I don't even know it. Transaction closing this month, retention period ending, commission, whatever you have put it in there. And here's all the activities that happened. And it has active property type, active transaction type, and all your potential sales volume. And that happens on the dashboard. And we're going to go through every little icons here, okay? But one thing I need you to do when you first started is going to this on the top right, it says me, M-E. I'm going to click the little arrow going down. And from here, I'm going to go to profile and settings. So you're going to have your information, my name, my email address, which is very important, because that they're going to send out email, not you send out, but when they send out email regarding zipForm, that's where they're going to send it out to you. And on the bottom, it says email signature. You're going to open that. You're going to put your name, your telephone number, your email address, and your DRE number. The reason I put it there is because when I send out the email, it's sometimes it doesn't come from your email address. It comes from ZipLogic, which is the name of the zipForm owner before. Now it's Lone Wolf, before ZipLogic, or they changed it to Lone Wolf. I'm not quite sure. We'll figure that out later. And your client might not know how to send back your email or contact you, right? So the best thing to do is put your name, your telephone number, and your email address. And why do I put my DRE number there? Because it's called the first contact. We always had to put our, when you give out the business card or you send out a flyer, it's a first contact, a way of a communication. When you communicate because of real estate, you have to have a DRE number on it. And you can change the font, the format, the font size, and also you could insert your logo, your picture if you like, okay? So please make sure that you do the email signature. I'm gonna close it. I didn't do anything changes, but you always have to save. If you don't save it after typing all this, it's gonna be gone, okay? So I didn't change anything, so I'm gonna close. Oh, okay. The other one that I'm gonna do is the sign-in security, which we have done already. So nothing happens. I'm going to the offices. So this is, it says here, update the company information that appears on your form. The update company information will only apply to new transactions that are created. Existing will continue to reflect your old company. So what does it mean? Why is this important that they have to put a bold to tell you that? When you change a company, like say, I'm changing from Co-op Banker, I'm moving to Keller Williams. Please come in here and change your company a name, address, and information, because the transaction on the first page of each form will have your name, your company name, your telephone number, your email address. So the old forms will still continue to be Co-op Banker, but the new form will change to Keller Williams. If you forget to do that, all the forms will still be Co-op Banker, right? And the Co-op Banker, if you're writing a purchase agreement and you still have the old company information here, it'll print out Co-op Banker. So you're writing in behalf of Co-op Banker, right? So if you're doing a listing and you did a listing contract and you forgot to change it, and I moved to Keller Williams and I just got a listing, I'm writing a listing contract, and on the bottom of the page still shows Co-op Banker. And the buyer signs it, the seller signs it and you signed it. And guess where the listing goes? Listing goes to Co-op Banker. It didn't go to Keller Williams. Okay, it's a Co-op Banker listing, right? Because we are with companies, so we represent the company that we work for. We don't represent ourselves. Okay, so I hope you guys understand that. And forms, okay, here's all the forms. There's a couple places for the new agents, the new one that just joined. There's a couple places that we can call all the forms. Before I do that, I want to tell you that every year we have an expiration on end of March. End of March, they'll send you, when you open up the zipForm, they'll ask you to validate. And if you're still a Realtor member, you can validate that. And once you validate yes, they automatically renew one more year. The reason for that is just in case that you try to access the form and and you're not a Realtor member anymore, you cannot access it anymore. Okay, for the new agents, there's a couple places that we can call all those forms out. We need to call forms. I hope you guys have it. Here is the shopping cart. Okay. We go to forms for the new agents. I don't know what you have them or not, but products, these are charge items. A zipForm record and connect. If you want to know what that is, you can click learn more information. National records in record time. Okay. So if you don't want it, you don't have to buy it. It's not a mandatory item. And this one is called the transaction form Zap Access Zapper membership required. It's $49. And this one is more expensive. It's called Lone Wolf Elite Agent. It's $249 per year. Per year meaning from now to March to March. Okay. So it's really to promote your listings. So if you have a listing, you know, it does transaction management. It does, you know, a lot of people like it, but I don't feel like spending $249 a year. That's me, mostly for listing. What it does is that it'll send your listing out to a lot of local agents if you want to promote. Here's forms. So if you're brand new, you should have some forms here. What I always like to do is I add to cart anything that's free. Okay, I'm pretty cheap. So I will add anything for free. So here we have the California distressed property for $49.95. We might need that later on, but right now, no need. For me, I'm talking about for me, okay? If you do a lot of Fannie Mae loans, this is a $24.95. Lone Wolf Elite, we talked about it. RPA Consumer Guidelines, $49. The people that are doing commercial, agents are doing commercial, AIR commercial forms for NAR members. It's $199. So what that is that if you're doing commercial with a commercial agent, they usually send you the AIR form. If you want to reply, you can reply our form. We do have commercial forms, but the commercial people feel more comfortable using the AIR forms. You can go to AIR forms and buy tokens. And every time you use their form, you pay tokens. Ours is $199 for unlimited use of their forms. So, but it's 1 year and we do prorate. So the prorate will go, if you're not within, if you started like, let's say the year is January to December and you decided to join in mid-year in July, they don't charge you $199. They'll charge you half the year. Okay. If you if somebody says to you, do you do AIR forms? Say, I don't, but however, we can buy it. So it's all commercial forms. The only difference between the AIR forms, I personally don't like AIR forms. They like to alter things. They like to change things. And sometimes they cross the whole form all out and they type in whatever they want. And I don't feel comfortable with that. So commercial agents are another world. They do a little things differently than we do. The open house forms is $49.95. The Oregon, if you belong to your license in Oregon, you are welcome to use Oregon real estate form for free. And remember, I said because we are nationwide, okay? And the worldwide ERC is the international forms. If you do a lot of international transaction, you want to know about forms, international forms, you have to buy them for $69.95. The other one, select library from different state. We are nationwide, so there's forms throughout our whole United States forms. Every state is a little bit different. I have seen Nevada state forms. They're a little bit different because their laws are different, but yeah, pretty much the same. So for the new agents, normally I just click whatever it's $0 free. Okay. My products is here. I have the California Association Realtors. I have the Home Shield. They give it to me. Financial Helpline. CER sample forms is very important. The California Regional Multiple Listing Services, we have some forms there. Digital ink, Zip Vault. We'll talk about those later. Elite Message, that's a new thing that just came out, which they don't tell instructor like me. I had to learn it last week at the meeting. There is a messaging now that you download the app. But I did download the app and I didn't even feel too much difference on that. And then later on, I can't find it on my iPhone anymore. California EPUBs, very important. Foreclosure Prevention Library, a home guard home warranty. Okay, those are my products. When you see your products, those are the forms that you have downloaded. Settings. Okay, here we're going to talk about digital ink. Digital ink 2.0 is free. We don't charge you a dime to use using this type of digital ink. What it is just signing forms to clients to sign, right? By using digital ink during the COVID, I think it saved everybody a lot of headache because we can't travel to people's houses or meet them at the office to sign paperwork. So by using digital signatures was a blessing to us. We're going to go over the digital ink on the second portion of our class. Docusign, however, is not free. Okay, Docusign is for NAR member under NAR, so we can sign our documents, but documents is $249. I mean, $40 a year. So a lot of people, I don't know how many of you have used Docusign versus digital ink. You know, me, I don't like to pay for anything, right? So in the past, I always used digital ink. and until I used Docusign, I found that the Docusign is a little bit easier. And for the overseas clients, it seemed like they're able to use the Docusign better than the digital ink because they don't ask a lot of questions. So digital ink is free, Docusign is not. Any questions so far? Are you guys okay? Quiet group today. You're welcome to ask any question, okay? So account preference is just saying default pages. You can set your default pages to transaction list if you like. And you can set up the transaction preference, time, global navigation bar. Yeah, I don't want those. What it is, you can always look at it. Hide the dark blue navigation bar while working. Templates, import data, apply broker agent information. Zapper is also not free, right? We talked about all these people. I don't know what happened to Zapper, but it's not there anymore. Maybe they didn't, Lone Wolf and Zapper did not come to agreement. So I have single sign in on Ling. I have I have Glide, I have Realty Property Resources, and ArcNest, which is my company. Home warranty integration, I put on. You can also select the preferred home warranty company. So every time your form was showed up. Title, you can also select title, select the favorite title company. Okay, if you work with a title company quite a bit, you're welcome to just log in and search which title company you want. Moving service, oh my gosh. Moving services, integration, enable updater integration, Display enters button. You know what? There's so many things that happens. Um, Lone Wolf doesn't like to tell me, but it's okay. Okay. Notification. Make sure you have email notification on, and app a notification. Send notification 3 days before to notify you. Doc inbox. We'll talk about that. That's a kind of fun place. I had all on. Best thing to do is just click everything that's on. Okay. You remember List Flash, that the one that charged a lot of money a year? What it is that you're by saying yes, you're gonna receive listings within 50 miles. I put them within 50 miles of Temple City. You can put in whatever places you want to know about the listings. Some people usually will send me a lot of listings, new agents that when they publicize their listings, I will get a flyer on my email. Office place, office place notification. I think that's something new. Send me an email when another agent sends you a message to offer place. I think I better turn it on because I have no idea what it is. Okay. And then it says send the code, and let me see how it works because I have no idea. And my code came to NC7 NC. Okay, so I have no idea what that is, but I'm going to turn that on. Title notification, all this, whatever, I don't know. I just turn it on. Okay, assistant transaction coordinator. Okay, I gotta save it. Okay, I'm gonna save it. Okay, if you have a TC that's working on your file for you, you can always invite your transaction coordinator, TC abbreviation. And this is where you invite, okay? If somebody's working on the files for you and you want to make sure that TC can see your files, this is where you do that. Okay, are we ready to talk about this? We have talked about shopping cart. Let me close this. And this is the list flash. We talked about that. Bulletin, if some information they want to send you, they send it to here. I have no bulletins at this time. The little bell is called notification. If somebody's something they want to notify you, they'll do that. Okay, and then schedule a meeting. This is like a little bit like Zoom meeting. You guys, we all do Zoom now by now, right? Because of COVID, everybody do Zoom. This happens before Zoom. So what it is that you can send your client with their first name, last name, and email address, and the by inviting them, and they can come in. They can come into this Zip Consult. So it's like a Zoom meeting. You can invite quite a bit people, but if you get higher than certain amount, they charge you. See, object proof here. What is here? So they do charge you for money, but I think it's 126. But Zoom meeting, this is free, by the way. So Zoom is not free, of course, but this is similar to Zoom. Okay, and we talked about me, and again, this is the lead agent. Okay, so we're going to come to here. We have the dashboard, forms. If you click forms, it's all the information about forms, right? Here we have the form library. If you, number one form is always California Association Realtor because you belong to California, right? And you can see all the forms I have downloaded, all the information. I also put in San Francisco Association because if you're buying something in San Francisco area, they're very unique. They will have their own forms. So it's always remember, if you're dealing with something with San Francisco, please check your forms here. So let's get out of here. We do have, sorry, let's go back. We do have something called Form Advisor. You're welcome to look at it for purchase. What kind of forms you represent by buyer, representing the listings, offer, post contract, escrow, and cancel. And here is the lease. Let's say we're doing a buyer's representation, and you can say, who do you represent? Property information, my clients, my transaction, my summary, get forms. Okay. And again, with this type of thing, it just, this is requested by you guys to have a form advisory. And here's a form tutor. Okay. Access form tutor here. Okay, let's go back. Let's start a new transaction, because we're going to do transaction, template, doc inbox, tasks, contact, partners, shop, and help. So I'm going to do transaction. I'm going to do a new transaction. Okay. So here's the transaction I have. I usually don't close them out, but if you do try to close them, you know, once the transaction is finished, you can close them out, or you can just leave it here. You can sort them by most recent, oldest first, create dates, all this, however you like. You can insert my transaction, and also transactions shared with me. Let's say you're doing a partnership with someone and they're sharing the transaction. Here it is. You can do that. I like the cubicle. Some people don't like it. Some people like line, but I prefer cubicle. So it's your choice or preference. Did I lose anybody yet? Are we all good? Okay. So we're going to do a new transaction. For the purpose, we have new listing, new purchase office, excuse me, new lease, new lease listing, and quick sign, Docusign or digital ink. If you have any problem, you can click here for help creating. Okay, it's a tour. Okay, so let's end the tour. Okay, so I'm going to do a transaction, new. I'm going to new purchase office, and I'm going to find a property. I'm going to find a property in this area. Okay, current location. Popped out 3 million. Scared me. Okay. Not too many available transaction. And okay, here's one. Okay, so I'm gonna write an offer on a new reduced property. And the property address is A617 Blue Circle in Rosemead, 91770. So you have a choice of putting your client's name or the property address. And I like to put in property address because your client might write many offers, right? The first offer that you write might not be the offer it's going to be accepted. So I like to put in the address. And here we have the MLS Connect. You guys see that? I'm going to click that MLS Connect. And I am going to find the listing information. I apologize, I didn't do my homework well because I was on the phone with, when you talk to the doctor's office reception, it's like talking to a wall. or they don't understand what you're talking about. Okay, here, I'm going to put in the MLS ID number. So I'm going to put WS 2127056. By the way, the number like 21 WS means it's from Western Gabriel Board. So every association has their abbreviation. Like AR is Arcadia Board, CV is Citrus, PF is PFAR, PFAR is PFAR is Pasadena. So every association had their own abbreviation. By texting the MLS ID WS, I know that this listing belonged to this board member, not belong to this board, but this board's member, right? Because you guys are all WS. And 21 means the year 2021. The rest, I don't know. I can't help you on that. And I'm going to include the property photo, check mark, and I'm going to put find. Why? Did I put in the wrong number? Let me see. Old age is catching up. Okay, let me double check. 2127056. That's right. Cannot upload data from this. Why? Ay. Let me retype it again. Maybe I didn't do the capital with WS. 2127056. It is because I didn't do the cap for the WS. I apologize. So when I click find, it automatically have the picture of the property for me, right? And also have the address, the listing, the price, the date, and the agent ID number. So I'm going to do use listing. And when I do that, I'm going to click residential. It tells you what it is: category, residential, industrial, multiple units, condominium, commercial, vacant land, farm and ranch, multiple manufactured homes, co-op, unlisted others, right? And it's active. We're going to talk about templates later. I'm going to save. Okay, so here we are with the save. We just created this listing that we're going to purchase. And by clicking this little arrow, yeah, because of, yes, Julia, isn't it stupid on a Monday morning? They're testing me. You have to be a cap on the letters in order to work. Okay, so on the 8617 blue circle on little arrow going down, it says here, we have created this transaction. I'm the agent, just created, update, retention date is Wednesday, January 24th of 2029. And we know today is January 24th of 2022, right? So it's 7 years from now. This, whatever you put in this transaction, it'll save you 7 years. Remember when you guys went to class, take your license, it says that we are supposed to retain the records for 3 years. The attorneys always say, did you return the records for 5 years? And because of all the confusion of how many years you're supposed to retain your records, zipForm decided to give you 7 years. So in 7 years, the forms, all the forms that you have uploaded here will be gone. And on a side note, if you decided to quit and decided that the real estate is not for you, or you want to go back for a full-time job, or you decided to change profession, please remember to transfer all the forms out. So export out your form, okay? Export it out because you will lose everything. You will lose all the transaction. So under actions, you have transaction detail, email to transaction. You have copy, save as template. You can delete. Once you click delete, that's it. You will not have it back, okay? So please do not click delete unless you really want to. You could import to archive. You have some other things that you want to import inside to this transaction. You can export. You can move it out, okay? Move it out to for the one that decided that I wanted to save a copy somewhere else. You're welcome to export. You can lock the transaction and put your own password. Let's say you're using transaction coordinator, or you're using the broker edition of the zipForm, because some broker has their own edition of zipForm. The broker can come in and look at your transaction anytime. And if you feel uncomfortable, you don't want the broker to look at it until you're ready, you can lock it. Or you can lock it from your transaction coordinator, or you can lock it. You're doing a partnership with somebody else. You're sharing one transaction with the zipForm with your partner, but you don't want others to see what other forms that you're doing. You can always lock it. You can show form version. You can send to other system. You can send to Docusign transaction rooms. You can go to realtor property resources. That's an NAR website. You can do a net sheet. You can transaction to fax cover. You can form advisory and form tutor. Okay. So we have the summary. Here's the summary. We can also look at the parties. We know that listing agent, because we uploaded information from the CRMS. So the information of the listing agent is automatically here. Buyer's agent is me. So if you have other buyer, a buyer 1, buyer 2, buyer 3, buyer 4, you can add their information right here. And you can add seller's information, buyer's information. Make sure you always add their email address. If the signing rep, if you're representing a buyer, and the buyer is a corporation, or the buyer is a LLC, or a buyer is a living trust, you can, who is going to be responsible to sign the contract. So this is where you're going to put the information, the name, last name, email address, and cell phone number. So I'm going to put in my buyer is no other than our CEO of Western Gabriel Board. But I'm going to put in my email address because for the training purposes, okay? If I send it to him, he's going to be looking at the email and I won't see it. Okay, so now I created the buyer. You can also create lending company, escrow officer, buyer attorney, which I hope there isn't any, and seller's attorney. Again, we don't like attorney to be in. Usually when attorneys start coming into a transaction, there might be problems. Appraisal company, disclosure company, new warranty company, title company, pest control company, and others. Okay. So I'm going to go back to documents. Let me see summary. Did I miss something? Okay. Here's all the summary. Let me look at this one. We can send a Docusign here. We can collect, we did the MLS Connect already. I don't really know what this Record Connect is. And we can start a CMA if you're doing a listing. We can apply templates. We can add documents to this transaction. Let's say you have home inspection report that you want to add into this transaction. You're welcome to do that. Okay, you're welcome to add anything. Our files are unlimited storage for you. You can add videos. You can add unlimited videos, unlimited pictures, unlimited files. And if you like, you can also add music. Okay, if you feel that this transaction reminds you of a music, you can always add. Like, you know, this transaction has been a wonderful transaction. You could say yellow brick road. I don't know. So anything you like to add, okay? You can email to a transaction. You have a private email address for this particular transaction. So this particular transaction email address is this, right? So you can highlight it and copy the email address. So when you send out emails or somebody sends you email, you can always forward to this particular email and it'll upload to this transaction. So you can do that anytime. You can compose email from this particular transaction. What happened? I don't know where. Oh, here it is. Okay, and you can collect who you want to send it to. And it says to send document to Longwood, you know, it will say subject. And then from now on, you will have all the, to this address, right? You can send it to your escrow company. Okay, so remember there is a private email address for every transaction, every transaction. You can have a fax cover sheet. Here's my fax cover sheet. Okay. Who does fax anymore? They still have this. I wonder, it's kind of like, I haven't received a fax. Oh, come to think of it, the other day I did receive a fax. I forgot. Okay, so here is all the information on the bottom. And of course, we have active, pending, close, and active fell through. Okay, you can click whatever you like. Here's the information regarding this particular transaction. So listing price is 870,000 and listing date was December 31st of 2021. So now the number will be 22. So new listing will be 22. And all parties. Okay, let's go into documents. Okay, so what are we going to call? What are we going to, how? We're going to call all the documents. We're going to come to all forms here. I'm going to open it up. Remember, I said it's always come up with California Association of Realtors. If you're Oregon, you can always change to Oregon, but our license only allowed to practice in California. So here we have all. There's an arrow going up and down. I'm going to click it open. So we can have no category, back office. This is back office, like, you know, you try to figure out some information yourself. COVID lease. This section was very popular for almost 2 years. Okay, now we don't use it as much. Before we had to use a lot of these forms. We have commercial. I remember I said we have commercial. So here's all the commercial forms that you might be used. You might need, not all, you might. Disclosures. Here's all the disclosure you might need in your transaction. A forms update. See, the last form update was December of 2021. Quite a few, huh? They've been busy. Here's all the forms update. Gee, I didn't know they update so many. Are you sure this is form update? The number one update was the residential purchase agreement. Here's all the forms that was updated. I'm surprised there's so many because usually just a couple of them. Wow. Seems like they revamped the whole forms. Okay. And there's lease. If you're doing a lease, listing, miscellaneous, property management. If you're a property management, there's forms that you might have, need, or you need to have. Purchase. Here's all the forms that you might need. Quite a few, huh? Scary. And vacant land. And we're going to go back to all. And from A to Z, you can go Z to A, or you can go by form numbers, right? We have abbreviations of all the forms. So for the new agent, if you going to write offers and your offer is accepted, and the listing agent says, send me this, send me that. And a listing agent sometimes don't tell you what form. So they will say, send me SPQ. Oh, I'm going to send you SPQ. What is SPQ? All you had to type in a seller property questionnaire. Or they will say, send RR. This one, I could never figure out why, but here's a form called RRRR. Seller respond and buyer reply to request. Don't ask me why is it RRRR, okay? But here's abbreviation that you guys are all welcome to find out. And the California Association of Realtor give you quite a lot of forms, but there is one thing that I want you to share with you. It's called California sample letters. Quite a few good letters. Before you call your attorney, says, can you write me a letter? Please come over here and see if we have any letters that we have really help you to fill it out. So acting against buyer to the buyer. The buyer decided to do something. You say, oh, why are you doing that? So you're going to tell them acting against broker advice to buyer, right? So you can remove the form, you can print sample, print blank, review form, and close, okay? So what this form looks like, it tells you, I am the agent. I'm going to tell a buyer that you are doing something against my advice. Okay, so when you get sued, you're not liable. Okay, and then the other thing I want to share with you quickly is the EPUBs. So EPUBs are talking about booklets mostly. And number one booklet is the home owner guide to earthquake, and has a report and the signature, right? There's a cyberspace crime information and water conservation, earthquake, commercial, right? You had to give them commercial earthquake report, mostly about booklets. The reason for that is we don't give out booklets anymore, and to save a tree, we're going green. So here's the booklet information. You only have to give out the booklet if the property is built prior to 1960. But however, a lot of people are still giving out booklets just to make sure they have it. And the other thing that they give out is the other one, hazardous report, okay, from the statement from the seller to the buyer, okay. And this one is saying, I received the booklet. I gave it to you, you received it, okay. So if somebody asks you to send me a booklet and you said, where do I find that? That's where you find it at California EPUBs. I don't know why they say that, but that's how they have it. Okay, so let's start doing a purchase for this property for Albert. Number one thing is I always like to do a cover sheet. And that's only me. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it, but I'll show you why I like it. And the other thing that I do is put in the residential purchase agreement. So I click both and now they're highlighted. That means I have them. Okay, so here I'm going to go into cover sheet. I'm getting old. I can't see so small. So I'm going to do full screen. So remember when we add the parties, I had added Albert. And I'm going to check this box. What it says is there. Check this box if you would like to have an X appear in signature on initial lines for the buyer one. So I always like to do that in case the buyer doesn't know where to sign, right? Sometimes buyers will say, where do I sign? You say, well, sign by the X. And I mark it for the seller just in case seller doesn't know where to sign. And I don't know who the seller is. But always, so I would like to tell you guys, if you're going to write the offer for this property, do some research on the title, see who the seller is, put in their name. Sometimes they appreciate that. Make sure you spell it right or type it right. People hate their name to be typed wrong. Because I did the MLS Connect, we have all the information here. We have the automatically auto-populated. It's built in 1973, so we don't need the earthquake booklet, but I think we do need the, I don't think we need the lead paint. For some reason or others, they never auto-populate my company DRE license and my license. But they did with the listing agent, right? Their listing DRE license and their license number. Do you know that I always check the person who write the offer to me? Are they licensed? Because like Remax Elite, I'm sure the person is licensed and is an MLS member, but there's sometimes companies, I don't know who they are, who are they, company. I always check the DRE, make sure the license not suspended. There are people using forms of other people's. Okay. So here it is. My cover sheet is done. I'm going to I'm so excited. I'm going to buy a property for Albert. Every time I teach zipForm, I always use Albert's name. And Albert doesn't know that he's buying a lot of properties from me. And maybe I should have used the 3 million and make myself a little happier, huh? Okay, so we're going to write the offer for Albert. Remember I said in the, we're going to highlight buyer. Remember I said that the bottom of the page has my information. So on every first page of the form, it will have my information. That's why you need to change your company name every time you change to a new company, okay? So let's go from the top. We have we have a package on the RP, the residential purchase agreement. It's because you guys keep on forgetting all the forms. So CR decided that we're going to give you a package form. So the first one you're going to have is the disclosure regarding real estate agent relationship, your relationship between your buyer and your seller. The second form is called the fair housing, which this form just activated in December of 2020. Remember, we have such a riot about discrimination, and we still do right now. People are saying appraisal discrimination now. So we have to have a fair housing, just in case the seller or the buyer say you discriminated them. possible representing more than one buyer or seller, disclosure and consent. That means that as a buyer, buyer's agent, please make sure that you have your buyer sign it. What that really means is that I can not only represent Albert Tron to buy this property, I can also represent Fang to buy this property, or I can represent anyone to buy this property again, right? And for the listing agent, it also says that you are allowed to do dual agency. That's basically what it meant. Again, my company information on the first page. While fraud and electric funds is very important, they revised it in 2021 of December. What it is that before we just highlight some, but now they highlight everything. We always, right now a lot of people are wiring funds into escrow, right? And there was a lawsuit because, let's not talk about lawsuit. Let's talk about recently. One of the agent I know into a transaction, and they use a transaction coordinator. So the transaction coordinator emailed the information of the wire information to the buyer. Good thing to wire in the initial deposit, the EMD, and the email was hacked. The money was lost again. So do not ever wire electronic transfer fund prior to calling confirm the transaction instruction. Only use a phone number you were provided previously. Do not wire when you see the email come in, because your email will be hacked. And when that hacked, you'll be sued. Okay. So call the escrow company and call the escrow officer that you're dealing with, and make sure the routing number, account number are correct. Avoid sending personal information in email or text. Provide such information person over the telephone directly with the escrow officer, property manager, landlord. Okay, so please be careful. Make sure they sign this, because this happens a lot. Okay. Oh, here's the grand finale. So this is the form RPA, we call it, because saying the California Residential Purchase Agreement and Joint Escrow Instruction is too long. So we abbreviate to RPA. And this form was updated in December 2021. If you guys are not good at forms and there's still a lot of classes on CAR regarding the form, and make sure you take classes on form. I took the class. I still feel like I'm a little bit lost on this particular 16 pages. When I first started, it was like only 2 pages. There was 4 pages. Now it's 16 pages. It shows my age now. Okay, I'm going to put in today's date. Date prepared, right? You got to fill it out, okay, for me to, for us to have a Docusign. If you don't fill out anything, it won't do it. So the property was $870,000. We're going to give them a full price. And we have closed the escrow or on escrow date. I'm going to put in 7 days. Okay. So we have initial deposit, filled out whatever the highlight portion of it, right? Today, when I feel that Albert is going to buy all cash. So you guys see that? Did you guys notice that everything here is not highlighted anymore? So if I remove this, it comes out, right? If I put all cash, all this is gone, because when they feel all cash, that means you have no loan. And then on the bottom, okay, it says it shouldn't have any loan contingency because there's no more loan. See, this one is no longer highlighted. See, loan 17 days after acceptance. It's not You can't click this anymore. Okay. So if I put up back to all cash, remove that to loan, this is here again. Whatever the forms, I'm going to put back all cash just for discussion purposes. So whatever forms I'm clicking, let's say I'm going to click, it changes so much. Okay, if I click forms added, anything I click, let's see, if the tenant's occupying the property, there's a form TOPA. It tells you that this form has been added. Any forms that I decided to click, let's say I'm going to do statewide. Okay, statewide buyer and seller advisory. It says that this form was added. So let me show you. Now the tenant occupancy, occupied property, and statewide is automatically added for you. Back to full screen. So on this form, I'm not going to go over all the forms with you because I'm not certified to teach forms, and I'm not your broker or manager. So I'm going to show you the form. We can either print. You can print this form. You can print the multiple form. You can print as sample. When it says sample, every form on the page will say sample. Okay. I could send by email. You can click who you want to send it to, or you can create a new one. Always CC yourself. CC yourself, because I one time I forgot CC myself. There was something that I wrote there. I need to confirm what I sent out, and I called zipForm, and they told me they can't retrieve that email for me. I said, oh my goodness. So I learned from that day that always CC yourself. Okay, and you click the form that you want to send out. Make sure you enter the subject, because they won't send out without they'll ask you about it. Okay, you can attach the fax cover that we have if you're going to do a fax. Okay, attach your fax cover and the fax number. You can fax throughout United States, but you cannot fax outside the United States. So there's no fax going overseas. By the way, your email, let me finish this so you guys can see. Sometimes they'll ask you which email you want to send out, but mostly if you don't ask, it's not coming from your email address. It's usually coming from let me see, did it come from my email address? It comes from SPMAI Tech NOLO.com. I have no idea who that is. They change it all the time. It used to come from ZipLogic email, but now they have a different one. So this is the email address. I mean, the email they sent to me, the email address. So please tell your client the email didn't come from your email address. It's not from you. Okay. You can save it as PDF if you like. File, PDF file. You can fast fill. If you're really good at forms, you don't want to read every line, whether, check mark, whatever it is, you can do a fast fill. I am not a good fast fill person, so I'm going to go out of this one. Any questions so far? You guys been all so silent. Okay, here is the NA fill. What it means is that, when we fill out the form, right, there's a lot of blanks. Sometimes people feel that somebody can fill in the blanks, even though you send it to them. If you feel uncomfortable sending out with a lot of blanks, you can click the N/A and you could put apply. So all the blanks would have N/A. You guys see that? Don't, so that means nothing is blank. Everything is filled. Sticky note, it's a fun thing. What I can click the sticky note. I'm going to click new note. And you can say, please sign here. And then you can put it wherever you want them to sign. And you can drag it down the bottom. But it won't print out. Sticky note will not print out, okay? Sticky note, you can have as many sticky note as you like. Hundreds of sticky notes if you want, everywhere. So when they receive it, you can click the sticky note and they'll see it. And you can also type in your language and change your language here. And then you can type in Chinese, Spanish, French, whatever you like. Okay, remember the cover sheet, I did the X on the buyer and the seller. So the buyer is always green and the seller is always red. I don't know why, but that's the color they chose. So always have the X mark on, but only happens when you do cover sheet. Only happens. If you don't do that in the beginning, it will not happen. And you can always tell client sign on the green. So the next one is preview. You can preview what you have done. Probably it's not going to happen. The spinning. Okay. From the preview, you can send, print, download, description, attach a task, a new window. I'm going to close this out. You can spell your spelling, make sure you're okay. Intellect copy. I don't know what that does. All of these years I teach this, I still can't figure out what really this is. One day I'm going to find out. You can highlight. Okay. You can highlight whatever the paper is for the clients to see. You can undo. You can redo. Okay. And more, you click more. We have photos. You can add as many photos in this transaction or this form. I see this used more at the agent visual, the AVID form. So if you see something, you want to take a picture and send it to them, you can add your photo. Photo will print out. So you can add as many photos you want. And from your selection of photos, I kind of worry, do I took anything bad? Okay, here's some photos. Okay, and that was our installation, I think. You can use as many photos you want and they'll print out. You can look up field. What it is that cities that you have used, it's all here. You can also add if you want. And here's the clause. Sometimes that your company wants you to type in something every form, like residential purchase agreement, or at the transfer disclosure statement. You can always add personal clause, whatever, how your company wants you to do that. Speaking of company, there's some company will have their disclosure forms. They'll be here. It'll be under here. I know that Berkshire Hathaway has their own disclosure forms. I'm, if your company has some disclosure forms, you want to add them, you're welcome. You make sure that you see it there too. Okay, let me see what else I want to share before we go on break. Okay, we're going to talk about e-signature later. MLS, we did talked about Record Connect. I have no idea what that is. Okay, so here is the where we have done. We have checked. We talked about. We're going to talk about template. Somebody has checked. Okay, thank you, Carlos. No question. Thank you. Checklist. Okay, you have a checklist. I'm going to talk briefly about checklists in 5 minutes. So on this particular transaction, you're welcome to do a transaction, like saying you have 17 days of this, you're gonna do termite on this, you're gonna have home inspection on a certain date. So you can always add a checklist. So it started with the data contract, right? And the listing date was December from whatever we have done. We can also add a checklist. We can say home inspection, and we can say status on the home inspection on title. Due date, we're gonna say, because if offer is accepted, I have to hurry up and do the home inspection, right? So I would say it had to be done by the 28th. Who's responsible? Selling agent, right? We're gonna do a home inspection. Not started yet, you can say in progress. Notification, share. Okay, you can share. And who you're going to share with. Okay, and you can add documents, and then you save it, right? So what does this do? I had a seller who says, hey, Ling, we're into escrow now. So what's going to happen? When are they going to remove the contingency? When are they going to do home inspection? When do we need to do appraisal? When do I need to get things done? So I created this checklist and I emailed it to him, and he was very happy because he has a list of the dates that who's responsible to do this. So you're welcome to create a checklist, and you can also mark urgency of the issues here, and then you email it to whoever it is that needs to know. Same thing with your buyer. If your buyer needs to do something, they need to get the loan, they need to get the bank statement, they need to get, they need to do the home inspection, they need to, we need to do a final walkthrough by a certain date, or we're closing a certain date. So that way they can see from here that checklist. People are very, clients are happy with this, but not all clients request this, but it's good to have it for yourself. Okay, we're 2 minutes into 11 o'clock for our break. Is there any questions so far? Are you guys okay? So when we come back, we're gonna talk about templates, doc and box. We talked about tasks already, and then we're gonna go talk about e-signature. Julia, is it Julia or Julie? Let me look. Julia, on the picture that you're asking, so you go to About Me, and you can go in here, and then look at pictures. Let me see one of my pictures. I don't like MacBook because I can't upload my pictures. I don't even know. I have thousands and thousands of pictures. So I'm trying to find my, always get a professional shot of yourself, okay? Don't upload Don't just upload any pictures, because sometimes people see you and you're in service, so you need to have a professional picture done. I can't find it. I was going to find a professional picture of myself. Those are my grandkids. Okay, let's just say I upload any pictures. How's that? As a realtor, you see we have a lot of house picture. Let's see if we can upload this one, just for Julia's sake. Didn't show up, huh? Yeah, there you go. It showed up. You see that? Okay. Julia, did you see I just upload the pictures there? It doesn't work for you? I don't know. I don't know. Do you have do you have a MacBook like I do, or do you have a PC? Because sometimes it doesn't work on. I'm not familiar with you know MacBook. I mean anything other than Mac. Okay, welcome back. It says it changed. Sometimes you had to come back and look at it, because sometimes it needs to be refreshed. Okay. All right. We're into the second portion of the class. Let's go back to the wonderful offer that Albert's going to buy. So before we go, we now have to go into to say Albert's going to sign the contract, right? Because Albert's going to buy this wonderful property from me, and I'm so excited. I'm so happy. I need a transaction. Okay, I'm going to go to e-signature here. This little pen says e-sign. When I click it, it says that I'm going to sign the residential purchase agreement, right? And it says digital ink 2.0. If I click it, it also says Docusign, but I'm not doing Docusign right now. I'm only doing the digital ink. And it says the document is this one. You can also add another document. Okay, there's other documents if you want to add. At this time, we're going to just do the purchase agreement. And it looks okay, right? So I'm going to say, go to next. So I'm going to click Albert and me, because I'm the listing agent. I'm sorry, I'm the selling agent. Coffee, where are you? Okay, I'm going to close it. And here we are. We have Albert and me signing. You could do signing order if you like. You can do Albert sign as 1, me sign as 2, or I am number 1, he is number 2. Albert's number 2. Actually, personally, I prefer me sign first, so I know that transaction has started, right? So you're the type of person that I don't care, just go out, whatever, have fun, enjoy. You can take this out. You don't need to have a signing order. If I do this one first, I go first, Albert goes second. At this time, maybe you say, oh gosh, I forgot, I had to ask somebody else. You can always add a signer. You can always create another signer. Okay. Or you can add a reviewer. A reviewer is somebody who from your company is going to review file. Let's say my company, I'm going to have somebody review this file, and I'm going to put the name and the email address of this person. So you can always add a reviewer. Okay, this is the difference between digital Inc. 1.0 or 1.2. 1.0, 2.0 is this. And that's all it really is. And also you can CC the list. You can CC yourself, or you can add a transaction coordinator. So that way the person can get the file, carbon copy list, okay? And if you feel uncertain about it, you can always have a cyberspace protection by clicking this, and you can send a text message to the telephone number, and there will be a $5 charge. It's not free. If you don't want it, you're okay. I was waiting for you guys to ask me, how can you send out email address to Albert and you as the same email address? Nobody asked me that question yet. It is what it is. You know, it's not good to do this, okay? Please do not use me as your example. I'm just teaching you because I can't see Albert's email address. That's why I put my email address. But it's only sending to whoever you set up the email address to, okay? When some people will ask me, is it legal? You're signing in behalf of Albert now. It's not legal. Don't say what I'm doing today is legal, okay? Please do not say that. Don't say Ling did that, okay? I'm gonna get in big trouble. This is only as a teaching purposes, but it's always good to send it to the real buyer address. But if the buyer says, hey, you know, my wife, she's not good at computer, can I sign it for her? Can you send it to my email address and I'll have her sign it? How do you know it's her or it's the husband who's really signing it? So right now on e-signature, it is legal to do that because we have something to protect us. It's called escrow, right? So if it's a loan document, it'll go to escrow and they'll have a notary that the buyer and seller have to sign. So by signing those documents, they are saying that they are buying the property, and the property will go into the husband and wife, to whoever the party is on their title. So if I'm buying cash and I'm signing for Albert, and it's not coming to, the title is not coming to Ling Chow or come to Albert Trent, right? So I think Albert will be very happy if I put in cash and buy it for him. Sounds kind of wacky, huh? It does sound kind of wacky. But how do you, who does not accept Docusign or e-signature like this? Bank-owned properties, they don't accept that. And the short sale property, if anything had to do with a bank, they will not accept it. They will only accept a wet signature. How to protect yourself? So if you feel uncomfortable about e-signatures, you can always attach a copy of the contract to escrow, ask escrow or the notary people to have them executed and signed with an ink when they're doing the loan signature, or they have bring it to your client, says, please sign it in a wet signature, because I think it's better if you sign it yourself. But during COVID, it's hard to go to their house or have them come to your office, right? So that's why right now there's not a very rigid rules about it. But bank-owned property is a no-no. They don't accept this at all. Okay, let's move on to next. I'm going to sign first, okay? Before, they don't have like everybody goes out, but now they have everybody goes out all at once. You could do that too. Because this is the first time, remember, this is the first time this this contract is going out. The machine has automatically, the software has automatically set the location of the signature for each party. So Albert will sign here, I will sign here, and all these signatures are here, are done, because it's the first time. When it goes out again, it won't have that anymore. You have to drag, I have to drag the signature here. Like I would say, I'm gonna drag sign here, like this type of thing, okay? Or initial here, or whatever you want them to put in. But the first time you start with this contract going out, it will automatically auto-populate where the signatures are located. So for instance, I am the listing agent, I received this offer and I want the seller to sign. When I go out as an e-signature, I have to drag seller initial here like this, you know. So the second time. So it looks good. I'm gonna click next. Okay, so you have successfully complete creation of this signature. So to change email address, signing participant, customize invitation, da, 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 da. Okay, so I'm gonna send the invitation out. And it's gonna come into my email address. It's a little bit slow. See, it still hasn't come yet. It's Monday morning. Okay, here it came. Okay, so the email address did not come from my email address. Please let your client know. The signing of the email is not your personal email. And please make sure that the client did not put it in spam. Sometimes it goes to spam and you can find it. So I'm going to start signing. I've done this before. So they're not going to ask me for password or anything like that. I think the first time they might ask you for password. I'm not quite sure anymore. So I am going to select. Okay, I don't know why there's English and Spanish here, but are you okay with this kind of signature? You can also draw. If you have a mouse that you can draw or something. I'm not good with signing with my finger, drawing with my finger, okay? But if you're okay with that, you can always do that. If you don't want to, you're gonna close it out. You can select a font, okay? That's only 2, 4, 5, only 5 font. It's not like you have a lot of selection, okay? So I think I'm gonna choose this one today. And I'm gonna accept. Okay, so it says start. I'm gonna click, 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 and I'm completed. How easy can that be? Very easy, right? If your client says they don't know how to do this, I don't know what to tell you, okay? I really don't know what to say. Okay, I'm gonna go back because now Albert has to sign. Okay, here it comes. It says, oh no, it tells me I have done it, okay? So I'm gonna go back here. It says Albert, right? I'm gonna start signing. Albert has a lot more. I'm gonna accept. And I'm gonna click, 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 click. Okay, liquidation damage is option if they want to do it or don't. Usually it's recommended that you do. Accept. And of course, the arbitration of dispute is also option, whether they want to do the arbitration or they want to go directly to court. So by clicking this, they have accept or decline. A lot of people miss this particular initial, but by doing the e-signature is easier. 16 pages, my goodness. Okay, now I'm complete. Okay, so now Albert has signed all the forms. Ooh. Where's my transaction? Oh, I kicked myself out. This is really good. I kicked myself out. Isn't that wonderful? Okay, let's go back and get in again. Validation membership again. Okay. All the zip information is here too. Okay, we're going to go back to transaction. We're going to go to blue circle. Normally, I would have a notification here, but they haven't sent me any notification. Kind of slow. Okay, so I'm going to go back to documents. You guys see this? We have a file that just created. Okay. Why did I have time a different area? I'm going to click it open, and this is the purchase agreement that we signed, and this is the signing certificate. A lot of people are submitting this with the offer. I don't know whether it's necessary, but because it has the client's email address. Okay, it says that we signed it at 11/19. Okay, so it's something that signing certificate usually is good to protect you, saying who signed it, when they signed. Okay, so now Albert signed, I signed. Okay, any question about this? Are you guys okay? It's very, very easy, right? It's not hard. Everything is signed. Okay, from here, I can send out, I can email to whoever I want. Okay, if the email person is not here, you can always create an email address and forward this out. And you can send it to the listing agent, or you can send it to whoever you like. You can print, you can download, and you can send it out again. Okay, you can you can send it out another if you want to send it out Docusign or digital ink, you're welcome to. You can do a description of the file. You can do a markup. You can split and rotate. Remember, we have so many files here, right? So you can split and rotate the files out. Okay, so I can add split. So the first one I want to split out is the AD, right? The disclosure. And it's only from page 1 to 2. So 1 to 2. Okay, so I'm going to add the split. So now this particular page is out. You guys see that? And if I want to split more, I can go back to the original residential purchase agreement, which has so much in there, so many files in there. I can split, I can do all at once, split everything all at once, or I just can split a couple files. The spinning thing is so slow. I could do the RPA. And I don't know what page they are in, so I'm going to go in to take a look. So it started on page 7 to page 22. So now the RPA are split out. Split, not split. Okay. Okay, so that's, you can then, if you want, you can split again if you want, okay? You can attach to the tasks that we talked about. You can find a placeholder or you can open up a new window. Okay. So you guys are okay with this? I'm going to move on. Before I move on, I forgot to tell you guys, there is something called text overflow. And then I'll go back to Docusign because I don't want to forget to tell you guys about text overflow. So there's a couple places that you text a lot and it doesn't seem like there's enough space, like other terms, 1, 2, 3. Maybe you want to write a whole story about other terms. And there's another place, I don't know where text overflow is nowadays. There used to be another place. Because of the new form, I think it changed. Okay, so other terms that you feel that you want to write a essay and it's not for not enough for you, don't worry, keep on texting, okay? Because they'll automatically has a text overflow attached. Text overflow, okay? So they automatically attach to the purchase agreement and for the seller and the buyer to sign. So that on that form was that this is attached to the text overflow. I think it happens in I think it happens in repair request and maybe at TDS, okay? Transfer disclosures, but that would be a text overflow. It's not a form that you can call out on all forms because it's not there. If you text overflow, it doesn't come out. There's no such form, but it's a secret form, invisible secret form that automatically comes out. Excuse me. Okay, so we're gonna do Docusign. I'm gonna call a short form, or let's better maybe not calling out. Let me just add a form. let me browse the form to be signed. Let's say you're going to have escrow instructions. You're going to have um, title information that you need to sign off. You need to send the buyer to sign off, or you have some kind of form from escrow that your clients need to sign, acknowledge, right? So I'm going to browse for a file. What form should we use? Okay, here's a home inspection report. I'm going to upload it. You can upload any forms you want, okay? But I'm not going to sign it, but I'm just showing you. You can upload the home inspection. I was thinking signing it, but I forgot how many pages that is. So here's the home inspection report that you can upload. You can upload the escrow instruction. You can upload the prelim. You can upload the termite inspection. You can upload anything you want, okay? Because there's so many pages, it's spinning. You see that? I regret I upload this one now. Oh my gosh, it's too slow. Too many pages. Any questions? Are we still here? Did I put you guys to sleep? You guys are okay? Oh my God, what did I do? I'm so sorry. Let me see if I can get out. Oh, here it goes. Okay. So it's 60 pages. It took them a while. I'm going to do the homeowner guy signature page so it's easier. Okay, so I'm going to have Albert and me to sign it. And this time I'm going to do e-signature and I'm going to do Docusign. Okay. And then I can also add other documents to this signature Docusign. I'm going to click next. I'm going to click Albert and me. Right. I can do signing order, or I can go all at once, or I can do no, whoever first, whoever second. Let's do all at once so you guys can see. You can also add a signer if you forgot, oh, somebody I had to add. And I'm going to go next. Notice that there's no charge if you want to do the authentics of who and who. Okay, so Albert is going to sign here. They sign, and I am going to sign here, right? So Albert signing here, I'm signing here. You can also change the name. Okay, and this is Albert. So looks good, right? I'm going to send. By the way, if I something I want to add, maybe I want to say, like I can put a check mark to here. And also I could put in a text saying, I think the house was built in what, 1972? And I'm gonna send. This is Albert, right? Because his color is Albert. I'm blue, he's yellow. or orange, whatever that color is. Okay, so it has started. And if you have Docusign as a member, you're gonna get a notification from Docusign. Says that Ling Chow would like you to sign on my phone, okay? So I'm going to my email. Why is it so slow? This is telling me I completed the other one, right? Download a copy, you can go here. Oh, why is it so slow? Usually Docusign is faster. I don't know why it's so slow. Any questions so far, you guys? Are you guys okay? Did I lose you on the e-signature? Oh my God, it's so slow. Did it go to my phone by accident? Usually Docusign is faster and the other one is slow. Let's see what happened. Let's go back to transaction. In progress. So this one is completed. This one is in progress. Nothing happened. My goodness. Okay, here it comes. Okay, because remember we sent it out all at once, so I'm going to get 2 email. Okay. One is to Albert and one is to me. You guys see that? So they send out both at the same time. I'm going to do Albert first. Okay, continue. We're going to click start. Remember, I have check mark. And then I put require. And I'm going to click sign. And I'm done. So I'm going to click finish. Okay. Okay. I'm going to go back to inbox because I'm going to sign for Ling Chow now. Continue, start, click, finish. Okay. So I'm going to come back to backlist. I'm going to refresh. If you don't refresh, it doesn't happen. Nothing happens. Okay. So now it says the signatures are complete. Come back here. It didn't show up here yet. Let me refresh it again. Okay, here it came. So I have the home from signed by Docusign and the summary, right? The summary when was signed. It has the date, the time. It's all signed. Are you guys okay? Hello? It's hard to talk to the computer yourself for 3 hours. Okay. So Excuse me, my throat is itchy. Okay, I'm going to start with templates. I'm going to clear this out. That's from previous class. Okay, so what is templates? Templates is actually just forms that you have set up already. So you can just call out the forms on that particular transaction. Today, I feel like I'm working for, let me see. I think a lot of Pinnacle agents here today, right? I see the names. All right, forget about Pinnacle. I'm going to set up a new. What it is make sure you ask your client, your office, all the forms are required for new listing or new purchase or new lease. So you set up a template for new listing, new purchase, a new lease or new listing, whatever the template your company needs. So let's start with a new listing. So I'm going to put in KW listing. And if it's a residential, I'm going to click save. Okay, so on this particular KW listing, what kind of forms do I need? So I go to my office and I want to ask my company. I said, do we have a list of required forms that you might need to for this new listing? So if you're not sure and you want to make sure that you have all the forms, you can come here and you can ask for listing. So we had the list. I always do the cover sheet. I'm sorry, it's me, okay? And listing agreement is, of course, is a must. If there's going to be additional signatures, we need that. And what else we need? Of course, it's always good to have a list from your company. And let base. Seller multiple counter offer number 1. Seller property questionnaire. Transaction. Statewide. Whatever your company needs. Water heater statement. Water heater smoke detector, whatever. Okay, I'm just picking up forms, let's just say. And of course, there's disclosures. I want to add some disclosures. What disclosure do I need? Residential real estate transfer disclosures. We got the SPQ. Sometimes people want seller affidavit saying that you are a real estate a resident of California, a resident of the United States. Anything, okay? Okay, of course, agent visual. Okay, so all these forms I have put it into this template. So that would be my listing. So if I click that, all the forms are here. You're currently modifying purchase. Click here if you want to create a new purchase. I don't know what that means. Okay, cancel. Okay, so I have created a template. I can also create a new one for purchase agreement. And it's a residential. I'm click save. So here under this particular transaction, if I'm going to do all the purchase, I probably will come here and says, oh, I'm doing a purchase. What do I need? Of course, cover sheet, residential purchase agreement, maybe addendum, maybe additional signer. Go through your list from your company. Okay, I'm just making this up. Okay, check with your company, see what forms are required to um, to um, to complete the purchase. Homeowner, whatever the forms that's needed. Wi-Fi. Wildfire disaster advisory it's a new form that they need now. Okay, then of course, we can always come here and look at some disclosures or other things that you might need. But let's say this is what all you need, okay, for a purchase. So now we created a purchase and a listing. So how do you use this? I'm going to do a transaction. I'm going to do a new transaction, and I'm going to click new listing. Let's say we're selling the property 123 East Valley Boulevard. Make believe property, okay? They don't want me to make believe. Okay, and it's a residential. So I'm gonna get a listing, and I don't know what forms I need, so I'm gonna go into my templates, and it says KW listing. When I do that, I'm gonna click save, and when I go to documents, all the forms I had created for the templates is here. You see that? But remind you that doesn't mean that all forms you will need. Some forms we definitely, like the listing agreement. If you want to have the sellers assign the disclosure right away, you're welcome to call them out. But it just telling you what forms your company needs, might need to complete. Are you okay with templates, guys? I have noticed that you can create a checklist. You can also create a e-signature templates. Document to be signed. But I don't know how that happens because we're not ready to sign yet. So are you guys okay with templates? And the next thing I want to go into is this little cute little thing called Doc Inbox. Okay, what it is that think of it as a parking lot. You want to send some forms here. You don't know where to put it as yet. So we have your personal email address. And this email address is this. It says lingchow974@dox.ziplogic.inc. So I can email to my docking box, and here is my email address. So I can copy the email address, or I can and then send whatever the email documents to the parking lot. Or I can compose the email and telling people I have a parking lot email area that I want you guys to email it to here. And what it is when I get the application, whatever the, let's say this one, and right now I have this particular buyer inspection waive, let's say, and I want to move. I can move to a transaction. Which transaction do you want to move to? Let me move to here. The new transaction I just started, right? So I'll go to the transaction, the 123 Valley Boulevard. Okay, so I'm going to open up documents, and the form has been moved here. You guys see that? Did I lose anybody yet? So did you guys like my parking lot? zipForm parking lot. So here is some offers, receive offers. I can move to where I want to do. Okay. Email offer, get link. Okay. So it's like a DocuBox is it's just where the forms is, but it doesn't once it moves out, sometimes it's still here. It doesn't mean that it's still it's all moved out. So you always have to check. It's good to have a parking lot to set form. You could add forms. You can add forms into this parking lot as well. I call it parking lot. And then also there's histories of what happened. What did you do? Okay. I moved some files that came here. You know, the reason that the document box was here is because remember I said that each transaction has their own email address. Let me see what I can find the email address for this one. So email to transaction, you see this? It wasn't here before. We didn't have the email to particular transaction before. So they created this doc inbox to email all the transaction in, and then to move it to your individual transaction. But now they have individual email to transactions. So that's what this was created. And we talked about this. And we also, you can always create your contact. You can import your contact information from everywhere, but I don't know if I want to because I have so much contact information. I just create them. You see that Albert's been created so many times. Partners. There's partners that we use. You're welcome to take a look at it. Shops, so we talked about, okay? And we can always come back to help later. There's something I want to share with you guys on my transaction. So let's say 123 Valley Boulevard, and the seller has to do the seller questionnaire. Oh, let's not do seller questionnaires, too large a form. I'm going to do TDS. It's 3 pages. So did you notice that this is all dark? Because we are not allowed to fill it out. Only the seller is allowed to fill it out. So how do we send it to seller to fill it out? I'm not very good at this, but I can share it with you. The reason I'm not very good at this is because this is new too. Before we send this to the seller as email, we cannot, if we send it at Docusign or digital ink, they cannot do anything. So we're the only one, we are not allowed to fill out anything for them. So seller has to fill out, seller is or is not occupy the property, is there range, is there whatever the question is asking, and seller had to fill out all of this, and seller had to fill out everything, and then seller had to sign. Then you have to sign, and you also have to sign here again. A buyer had to sign here. There's a couple places that you got, there's 2 places that each of it the listing agent and the buyer agent has to sign. So how do we do that? Okay, because when we email it out, it doesn't work. They can't touch it. We cannot touch it. So we're going to do parties, and we're going to share. Okay, we're going to share the parties as Albert. Why is it only me? Let's get out. I'm going to share. I'm going to do, gosh, maybe I shouldn't do public share. Okay, so we're going to share. It should be shared to Albert, but why is it not coming out with Albert? Okay, then I'm going to go back to public share. Okay, I'm going to share the TDS. Save. Okay. It doesn't come out. So I can edit. I can upload the document. I can view history, and I'm going to click next. I'm going to send it to me via Google email. I'm going to go here to my email. And I'm going to view document. I sent it to my client, but they're all confused. So you have to sign in. Jeez. Okay, I don't remember my email. I mean, password. Like I said in the beginning, I don't remember all this. Next. Because it has a stupid thing called intercode. One number, one makes a cover upper. Sorry, guys. Set password. What happened here? Okay, I'm gonna go into this again. Because I just changed password. Stupid. Oh. Okay. So I'm gonna say I have read and accept. Okay. So the documents that I can touch, I sent it to my client. They're kind of confused because I'm an agent. I can't touch anything. You see that? So full screen. So if I were to, I was a seller, I can touch all this. So that's what it is. But I'm still confused at this one too. I wonder if I can add person. Cannot add. But that's how supposed to be how you share. Let me add Albert. So you have to add them and then your email address. I don't know why it's gone because we add Albert before. Oh, because Albert was in this transaction. But anyway, that's how you're supposed to add parties and then you share it. And then you add the person. It doesn't show. Okay, here it goes. So, and then you Albert can edit. That's how they're supposed to able to touch it, or else you have to. It won't let me to do. Albert can add it. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit lost in this thing. But that's how they're supposed to able to look at the transaction. Oh, I know why, because we never really done anything to Albert. He didn't sign anything. Maybe we can do it here. It'll be easier. Share whatever the form is. Usually is the TDS and SPQ. That's what you need to do. I think it'll be better if we had upload the forms already. Let me see if I can upload the forms here. Documents. I'm going to upload TDS. Did I lose anybody yet? Did you guys fall asleep? I apologize. Share at Albert. Done. Can edit forms. Next. And we do the residential transfer disclosure. Save. Okay. And then, but Albert really doesn't sign this because Albert is a buyer. He's not the seller. But so Albert can share the forms. He can look at the forms and he can also write the forms. Whatever the change of TDS and SPQ, most on the seller side. I'm sorry I lost you guys here. Any questions so far? I lost a couple people. So the next one I would like to share with you guys on the documents that I have to go into my iPhone. I'm gonna log in from my iPhone to do Docusign for you guys. Can you guys see me?
Yes.
Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, we're gonna do Docusign. So number one thing you need to do is go to Apple Store. If you have a Android phone, you have to go to Google Play, right? So here I'm gonna go to search. I'm gonna type in zipForm mobile. You guys see that? Okay, on the zipForm mobile, it says zipForm by Lone Wolf. That's the one you're gonna download. Since I have downloaded already, I'm gonna open. So it's gonna ask you credential for the new agents. Please make sure you use the CAR credential, not the zipForm credential, because that's how you sign in the first place, right? So use the CAR credential. Okay. And I am going to tab the lines on the top. I'm going to click on the left top. I'm going to click open. And I have dashboard, forms, transaction. I'm going to click transaction. So what I did on the MacBook, on the laptop, it's automatically saved on zipForm Plus. Okay. So I'm going to click open the A617 blue circle. And whatever we did on the transaction, it's here. It's saved automatically. I don't know whether you guys can see this, but under transaction summary to the right, there's an arrow going up and down. So I'm going to click that arrow going up and down. It's right underneath the A617 blue circle roast meat. On the bottom with a gray area, there is an up and down. So I click it open, and I have transaction summary, parties, document, checklist, note, e-signature. I'm going to click the documents. Okay, so here it is. I have all the documents that we have uploaded here. I can also add forms. I can click all forms. And here I can add all the forms that we have on the internet. I'm going to sign a form. Let's say I'm the buyer, right? So I'm going to sign contingent remover 1. I'm going to add the form. Okay. I'm going to get out. And now the contingent remover form is here. So how do I sign this? I'm going to click contingent remover forms, right? And it on the top left has e-signature, e-sign. I'm going to click that. And it says signing services. I have digital ink powered by 2.0. Right next to it has arrow. This is triangle up and down. I'm going to click that. So now I have a couple choices. Not only have Docusign, digital ink, I have also called Touchsign. So I'm going to click Touchsign. Okay. Did I lose anybody yet? Are you guys okay? Okay, I'm going to go to next. Okay. And who's going to sign? Buyer 1, Albert, right? Make sure that if there's an email address. I don't care who's signing it, but you make sure you have an email address. Okay, I'm going to go down to the bottom. And then close it. So now Albert's signing, right? I'm going to click next again. It has legal consent. I'm going to go down to the bottom, says I agree. So now I'm going to sign. I'm going to sign e-signature by my finger. So let's see what is need to be signed. Gosh, it's so small. I can't even see it. Okay. First I'm going to do initial. Oh, no, actually, I'm not going to do initial. I'm going to do a check mark because I'm going to say, I can't see this. I can't see. I can't see it. I'm going to just sign. Can you guys see that? I can't see very well. Okay. I'm going to sign this form. I'm going to say tap to sign. And right now I'm going to use my finger. Okay. You guys can't see my finger, but I'm going to use my finger. Do I have you guys? Can you guys see me or no? Oh, it's okay. Okay, let me go into. Okay, So I'm going to use my finger. I'm going to write Albert's name. Okay. So I'm satisfied how Albert writes with the finger. I'm going to click select. You see that now we have the crisscross on the top. I'm going to hold it down. That's how I carry it to wherever I want. Okay. But before I do that, the signature is huge. I can't, I can put Albert's signature over too big. I'm going to reduce the size. Do you see it says sign and it has a pen, like a pen? Underneath the pen, there's 3 little triangle line on the pen. I'm going to hold it down. I'm going to hold it down and change the size. You see that? All I did was hold down the 3 little line by the pen. The 3 little line by the pen. Okay. I'm going to reduce the size of Albert's signature. And I'm going to move it down to where Albert is signing, right? So how do I move that? The cross, the black cross. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to drag it to wherever Albert's supposed to sign. Okay. Once I'm satisfied where Albert's signing, I'm going to click sign. So now Albert's signature is here. And the other place I want to do is the date, right? The date is huge. I'm going to reduce the size. Okay. And I want to move it to next to Albert's name. Still big, huh? Let me reduce it a little bit. I'm going to drag it down to Albert's signature. And I'm going to say add. That's it. I'm done, right? I'm good. So Albert has now signed the contingent removal. Okay. I'm going to come up to the top. It says done. And it says, please confirm. I'm going to click OK. Now it says signature has completed. I'm going to get out. Go back. And now we have a file that says signature removal. I'm going to open it up. It says touch sign. I'm going to open it up. So Albert's signature is done. Okay. Somebody has a question. Let me see what it says. Okay, Carol, hold on. Let me finish this and I'll go back. So that's about touch sign. So why do we use touch sign? What is the purpose of touch sign? The touch sign is mainly because, let's say you drive from, let me stop sharing this one. Let me get out first because I stopped sharing. And I'm here. Okay, so let me get out this one and go back to my regular laptop. Okay, the purpose of the touch sign is because if I am somewhere in, I'm showing property with my client in, I like to say Temecula, and the buyer really liked this property. So I call the listing agent. Listing agent says, hey, I'm going to look at the offer. I'm going to present the offer to the seller within an hour. If you're interested, please submit now. So are you going to drive back to St. Gabriel and then go to a computer and work with your client at the office, or can you find a place that has Wi-Fi and use your phone or your tablets or your and work with your client and write the offer? Yeah, you could by using touch sign. So that's why you can just write the offer using your your iPad, your tablet, and have the buyer signs right next to you and submit the offer right away. So that's one reason. And the other reason is that it actually happened to me one time when I was in Taiwan, and a client says to me, "Hey, I want to sell my property in Arcadia." That was back in, wow, before 2014. And I went down, I want to print out the forms, right? So I went down to the hotel and they said, "Wow, we're going to charge you printing out all these paperwork." And I go, "Oh my God, okay, forget it. I'm going to do this." So I went on my tablet and iPad, and I learned how to do touch sign. So I had the contract signed while we were drinking coffee. I just told her to just sign it here and there, and then she signed it and she's fine with it. So that's how I got the listing contract when I was in Taiwan. But it's something that you have a choice. You can, of course, you can do Docusign at the Starbucks in Temecula, or Digital Ink 2.0. You can always do that. Okay, but it's another choice. Let's go back to the chat that the Carol Fung asked, "Can you explain the main purpose of docking box again?" I call it a parking lot because it just parking the transaction. It was created before they had individual transaction email. So docking boxes, you can just email all the transaction into this parking lot, and all the forms like your transactions, your escrow instructions, your home inspections, or all the forms that you might not need, but you probably need it later. And then after you received it, you can click it and then move to transaction. You can move it to whatever transaction you have. Let's say I'm going to move it to 123 East Valley Boulevard, right? So once you move it here, it's like a, I'm going to park it here, but I'm going to move it later to another transaction. So here is the ABID of LA. So it's like I park here because I don't know where I'm going to put it. But now I know where to put this transaction. I'm going to move it to this transaction. That's all. It was created because at that time, we don't have an individual, we don't have an individual email to transaction. So now we do. Each transaction, we have an email address, right? So you can always copy this this email address and send it to your escrow company and says, "Please forward everything to this particular email address." So that was the purpose of the doc inbox. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, before we end, I wanted to show you there is so many help on the website. So there is video available. You can access all the transaction information. Okay. Information about how to get started, how to turn off your pop-up blocker, because there's pop-up blocker you can't even get in. Okay. And the support is here. It's not, I don't want you to give you my cell phone number because I might not able to help you as much as the people that really works on the, it's Lone Wolf support. They're not giving us telephone number anymore. And I don't know if there is, they tend to hide it now. So they have live chat, they have video tutor, support cases, knowledge base, training, implement, back office. contact, I don't, here's the contact number. Okay. So 1-866-279-9652. Okay. And they're supposed to give us hours of working, but you're welcome to call them. Sometimes they know more than I do, and they do, because I just teach this, but I don't work for them. So Lone Wolf contact information is here. And I was surprised I can find it so easily today. Any other questions? I don't know if I cover everything. Sometimes 3 hours you think is long, but I do still have to cover a lot of stuff with you guys. And sometimes I'm not even sure if I cover everything, because sometimes I miss one or miss. So there's learning videos. If I miss anything, please go here and take a look at it. Oh, the other thing I want to tell you, that there is a zipForm messaging that you can message your client. I downloaded it myself because I just learned that last week doing a meeting. I downloaded it, and I for some reason I can't find the download anymore on my phone. It's called the on the App Store. It's called zipForm Elite Messaging app. So when you open it up, you can message the person that all the transactions you want for them to see on your message. Okay. So like I just sent, they can share it. I don't know what happened to it. I'm still new at this though. But the message things, I'm still new because I just found out last week. So it's kind of fun. Please make sure that you, new ones, please make sure that you are going to learn this yourself, play with it, check with your manager, see how you see how to get into your company has training. I know a lot of company has their own training. I can't get in anymore. Don't know what happened. Okay, here's my transaction. But I pretty much went over just about every icon with you, every little things with you, but I'm sure I missed something. If I do, please check help and check with them on that. But there is a desktop version too. We call it a standard. You are welcome to download as many as you want, okay, to your laptop, to your iPhone, to whatever computer you have. But the only downside is that because you're not using the Plus, which is the cyberspace version, you will not have automatically saved up to your iPhone. Okay, so you have to sync it all the time. So is there any question? I know even though it's 3 hours, we do cover quite a bit, and it's a lot to remember. Do you have any more questions, or are you guys all good? You guys are okay? Yeah, Paul? Okay, thank you. I can't see most of your faces because some of you are hiding behind the scene. Any question at all? If not, I'm gonna end the meeting. And for the Chinese, Happy New Year. If not, enjoy your week and try to, oh, thank you, Jane. And next month, I think Brian's teaching it, Brian Chen, we take turns. So one teach 1 month, the other teach another month. So we both cover different things. You're welcome to join his class. And he's probably going to share with you something I haven't shared. But it's always good. And then Happy New Year and have a great week. Thank you.